Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. Another day in the life of a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Our fan base is fractured, our club is fractured. No one's on the same page. The messages coming from the directors and the owners are mixed. The manager changes his mind every week. The fans are flip-flopping. We've all got different opinions. What is going on at Tottenham Hotspur? Is it that bad? Is it that good? What is happening? Some people love the style of play. Others can't stand the style of play. Some people think we're in good form. Others think we're in terrible form. It's all over the place, isn't it? And it always is at Tottenham. And I think that's how you know that things aren't great, because if things were as good as many make out, there wouldn't be so many unhappy. But big up, good evening to you all tonight. I want to have some debates. I don't want to just have people calling in and we have a nice footy chat. If I'm brutally honest, as Mr. Box Office says, Savva, you thrive when you're debating. We're having a proper full-on debate. So please, I do not want people to come on if you agree with me. And it would be great if people have got something they want to debate. Now, before we get into that, just so you know, I've got BBC Two ready in the UK for 7 o'clock, where the FA Cup third round draw will begin. So we'll be live when that goes on. I put in the poll, has Ange been found out? For me, I think he was found out after 10 games of football. This is, again, you know me, this is my opinion. I feel like we are thoroughly unimpressive as a football team, and I feel like the manager is thoroughly unlikable and unimpressive. It's not personal. I just don't buy into him. Everyone knows my opinion. This isn't breaking news for anyone before anyone thinks of clipping this up and releasing it as a video. I think it's pretty well known that I'm not the biggest Ange Postecoglou fan. I saw again on Sunday. He said again that, he's got zero interest, his words, zero interest in being pragmatic. And for me, I can't get on board with a manager that says things like this. It truly feels to me like this is an experiment. It truly feels like this is a vanity project. And this is all about what he wants to do rather than what is best for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Now, I completely get it. There will be many that disagree with me. Absolutely fine. Please remember, it's just a football opinion. Yeah, please remember that just because I think that doesn't make me less of a fan than someone that really likes him. All this notion that I see flying around that people are terrible fans because they don't back the manager. I don't back the manager because the manager's poor. That's why. I don't back the manager because the results are poor. I don't back the manager because I think he talks a lot of nonsense. That's only my opinion. Listen, as I said, we've won one of our last 5 games. As soon as we lose a game, I've had it all today. Injuries, Savva. Well, hang on. No one was talking about injuries when we were beating Man City. Then when we lose or draw a game, but injuries. Look, I just, you know me, guys and girls, I don't really suffer fools. I don't do this whole blind faith just because somebody says that we have to have blind faith. I need to see things. I think you all know me by now. I'm the type of football fan. I need to see things on the pitch that make me go, we are getting better as a team. And I don't see that we are. I see that still 18 months down the line of Ange being in here, we look as frail at the back as ever. The massive gaps, the inverted fullbacks does not work. I don't know how many games we have to see. It let us down against Roma. It let us down against Fulham. Just in the last 2 games, we didn't play inverted fullbacks against City and won. Look, I don't mean that everything at Tottenham Hotspur is on Ange. Of course it's not. Unfortunately, managers live and die by the results, and they live and die by the sword, right? We all know about Levy. We all know about the club, but it's really, really funny when, during the summer when I was doing these shows and I was being told constantly, Savva, you're negative. Savva, it's been a good window. Savva, it's a youth project. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, okay, cool. What's going on? But Savva, we didn't buy the players. So blah blah blah. Jamie, if you're gonna, Jamie, we haven't started the debate show yet. I don't know what you're doing. Jamie, you come in here, you say a lot of things, you wind people up. Just relax. I haven't even put the link in the chat yet for people to call in. People are funny, aren't they? Jamie's always a funny one in the chat. Always going, where's the debate? What's the debate? Hang on. I'm only 4 minutes in. We're just talking about these people crack me up. Notice it's people like Jamie that would never come on. Never, ever, ever come on. So today I am looking for people that want to come on and debate. I don't want the normal people, no offense. I don't want the normal people that come on and say, Savva, I agree with you. I want some debates. Look, is Ange losing some of the fan base? Are people turning? I'm starting to see a lot more people now that are saying to me, Savva, I'm losing a little bit of, I'm losing a bit of patience now with a manager. And listen, I don't blame them. That's where I've been for a long, long time. I can't sit and watch somebody this tactically naive and poor every game. I can't sit there and watch that and think that things are getting better. I keep being told by fellow YouTubers that, by the way, YouTubers that I'm friends with, I'm talking about people who I speak with off camera, not people who hate me, but, say, oh, patience. And I'm like, okay, but cool. What does that mean? It's been 18 months and we're not going in that direction. We're doing this or this, we're not doing that. So I'm asking, what patience do they want? And we'll give him 2 more transfer windows. I'll be honest, I don't really want this man signing any more players. But hey, this is just me. These are things that I'm saying, hopefully trying to provoke a reaction. So before people clip me up and go, oh, look what Savva said, I want to see what people come back at me with. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. We're going to have the FA Cup draw at 7 p.m. as well. So we're going to see who we're going to get. But listen, happy to have the debate. Listen, let's have a chat. If you come on, you're going to bring some facts, bring some evidence. A lot of people come at me with buzzwords, project, process. When I ask them what it is, no one can actually tell me what it is. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. The link is there now. Okay. So, oh, no, it's not. Here we go. Paste. There we go. The link is there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pin that as well. So you can see the link there. Oh, hang on. Where are we? Is it going to pin? Is it going to pin? There we go. That's better. The pin, I've pinned the message, which is the link. So there is the link. If you would like to come on, please, as I said, please don't just come on because you feel like you want a natter. Let's have a chat. I want to debate. I want to have a football conversation. The title of the show is Debate Savva. All week, I get so many people saying, I hate Savva. I hate him. Let's talk about this. Blah, blah, blah. And they're the people I want to speak to. By the way, Jamie, big up. A sensible question. Are we comfortable? Yes, I'm absolutely comfortable with sacking managers that aren't doing well. Yes, I am. That's the way of any job in any life. Just because we've sacked managers before doesn't mean that I just want to see a process through. The process, I hear this a lot. Dennis, feel free. Come on. Talk to me. Only Savva hates Savva. Very strange comment indeed. Again, these types of comments, no picture, no real name, they will never come on. They've got nothing constructive that they can add to an argument. Only Savva hates Savva. I actually quite like who I am. Thank you very much. But big up. Simply Ace has said, the fans that support Ange, please come on and explain how we've improved. I would love to hear that as well, how we've improved under Ange. I've not seen anything. Ange or Emery, I would take Unai Emery. I think what Emery's done in the game of football is really, really good. By the way, Tommy, I'm happy to let you on, mate. I know we spoke last week. I want debates. So you're going to have to, if you've got something, I really want debates. Otherwise, I turn into a fan call-in show. I'll let you on for a few minutes, but just Tommy, I'll let you on, mate. I want some debates. No.
You want someone to challenge your opinion,
mate? Absolutely. Do you know what? The reason I set this show up, Tommy, is so many people they run their mouth in the chat. They talk a great game, but then they can never come on and actually
A lot of bark, no bite.
actually debate it and win an argument. But how you doing? Your boys not too great this weekend?
Yeah, neither are you either.
Mate, I know.
No, I know. No,
I know.
I know. No, I spoke to my Tottenham fan at work. He said he was so lucky he didn't go this weekend. He said to his dad, he goes, "Dad, you ain't going this weekend." And lucky he didn't. He said he's absolutely grateful he didn't go this weekend.
Yeah,
I think I should get him on this show once because he proper agrees with you and everything. Like he's exactly like you. Not on like a debate show, but I think you and him would have a really good chat about it because he's literally the same. Like he goes on about it all the time. He goes, "I don't get it." He goes, "I don't get this football club."
Yeah. By the way, Ryan, please listen. As I said to everyone, I'm looking for debates. So far, everyone that's coming into it, I'm looking for debates. I want people to come on, have a real debate with me that we can get the crowd going. I don't really want to get people on that are just going to agree with me. Sorry, dude. Next week I'll do a fan calling show. I promise. Tommy, talk to me about your manager. Does he need to go? He's only been there 13 games, but my West Ham mates are not sold on him at all.
Oh, mate, my club, all clubs now are just a shambles. I don't get people that protect like clubs anymore. They get taken for absolute mugs. As I said before, COVID is the best thing that happened for football clubs because I know people just go now for anything. It's tourist attraction now. Like no, they don't care about us, Savva. They don't. We're peasants to them. We're customers. They don't care, and people got to start calling it out.
Of course. And do you know what? I saw a really good point today. I think it might have actually been from Ben Kaufman, who might be in the chat. I think he was saying, look, for the price that people pay, they treat us like customers.
You got the most expensive season ticket.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah.
But Tommy, the point was that if we're going to be treated like customers, cool. I'm paying for a product. Give me top dollar.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but my mate said from work. He said, I think why don't say if you finish 10th, you pay the 10th price. You pay 10th place price. Until then, if you finish first, then you pay more. But obviously, it will never go to that because it's all money and but it'll never turn out like that. But no, I'm not trusting the process before anyone asks. I don't trust any process. I think that's all rubbish. I hate it. Basically, that means is, just follow it. Nothing's going to happen. You've got to stay happy. I don't care. Wait, Savva, I know I've watched so much football. Anything can happen. Like you've seen managers come in the season, like Arne Slot. He might win the league, he might not. But you've seen it when managers have come in first season done well, and you see managers that come in one season don't. It's always about that's why I always blame the owners. The owners should have a plan, get the right manager in. Instead of just trust the process. You've got to back managers. No, it shouldn't be like that. You've got to earn. You've got to see something to believe it. You can't just believe it. Respect is earned, not given.
Do you know what I think it is? From my point of view, Tommy, what I think football clubs need to do, I don't think they come out and tell us enough what the plan is.
No.
For example, if in the summer the chairman of Tottenham or West Ham comes out and says, right, do you know what? This is what we want to achieve this season. This is our plan. This is our transfer model. This is what we want to do. The first half of the season might be a bit up and down. Second half is where we're going to kick on. Right, when we see these things, it's okay. But what we have is fans make their own minds up, and Spurs fans are great at it. It's a youth project. So I'm asking, where's the youth?
They don't play. As you said, you don't even play the youth. So what's the point? Yeah, but exactly. I don't care. I don't even want to know the plan. Just show it on the pitch, and I'll believe it. Don't comment. Honestly, don't tell anything to me. Just do your talking on the pitch. That's all I say. Do the talking on the pitch. I hate all the. I go on social media. I've deleted it because I hate with all the crap they come out with. Back the team, great point, deserved it. All this, thanks for coming out. I don't care about all this. Just win on the pitch. It's not even that. Just wear your heart on your sleeve. Just do it for the like. I watched an interview with Craig Bellamy, and he said West Ham fans ain't fit. We've seen some good players over the years. We're not just going to back a player because he puts his heart. We play him if he's good.
Yeah,
good, and also he puts his heart on his sleeve as well. But no, you just got to back everything now. That's the world now, isn't it? You just got to do everything. You got to listen to everyone. You got to do everything everyone says. No one's allowed their own opinion.
Tommy, for me, I'm someone that wants to quantify things. So when somebody says to me, back the process. My first thing is, what's the process?
What's the process?
That's my first thing. What's the process? No, and this is the thing. There's so many Spurs fans that say things like, you don't know Ange. Tell me about him then. And everything they told me about him last year was wrong. He does this with the youth. Wrong. His teams get better in year 2. Wrong. Like that. All of these things are just wrong. And I get it, right? People want something to hold on to. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
People think they are good fans by saying, through thick and thin, I just support every decision.
No. See, to me, that ain't a good fan. That ain't a good fan. No, that ain't a good fan. Because it's like, I don't have kids, but if I had a kid and he's doing wrong all the time, do you think I'm going to back him? No, I'm not. I'm going to show him tough love. Well, if you don't sort your life out, do you know what I mean? That's how I am with West Ham, with my club. That's why I stopped going. That's why I give up my season. Me and my dad both give up our season ticket because it was we got it. I had it for 10 years. I had it from 07 till 16, and then the Chelsea game happened and all that trouble happened. And we had to block right near the away fans, and all that. It all kicked off. They even said to us, "Look, you either move or we don't, or get rid of it." We said, "We'll get rid of it." You know what I mean? We've been going there for 10 years. We have to pay 50 quid for our seat. That's how much they care about you.
Yeah, mate, listen,
for 10 years.
It's not what it was. It's not what it was. It used to be. It was all about a family day out. It was always about going to support your local team to get away from your work troubles. Now it's bloody expensive tickets with bloody expensive food when you're there.
We've got the most expensive mascots. I think we pay the most for mascots. And we've got like probably the worst ground to go to. Worst experience. I hate it over there. It's awful. Take it all back to Upton Park and finish 15th, 16th again, over again. I'd happily take that. But it's because they lied to us. As you said, like with you, they said you're going to move there to compete. But if they wouldn't have said that and they said, look, we're just going to move there and see where we go, you wouldn't be like, all right. But it's the fact they lied and go, look, you're going to do this and not really do anything. You ain't really done anything since you've been there. You know what I mean? You ain't really pushed on. You're the same. If not anything, you're going backwards, really. I say, I don't know. I've seen you with proper ballers in the years. Like Van der Vaart, oh my God, I would have loved him at West Ham. Absolute unreal.
Yeah, but see the difference is Spurs used to make signings like that. We don't make signings like that anymore. What we do is we buy average footballers that the fan base wet themselves about. They look for every little stat as to what they've done to go, he's perfect. Then when they don't work out, there's an excuse. But Tommy, listen, I have got someone waiting. I'm going to have to. Listen, I would say good luck to your boys, but obviously I really don't care what happens to West Ham. But thanks for coming on, man. It's always a pleasure.
No,
I'm sure. Take care, man. Take care. And you, man. See you later. So I'm going to bring on Psycho Teacher. Hopefully he's got something he wants to debate me on. I want people that come on that want to debate me. I've got to be really clear here. Hence the title of the show. All right. Otherwise, I get called an echo chamber. I get told that I don't let people on. And this is the show where any YouTuber, viewer, anyone can come on. But all the people that shout the loudest, all the people that mock me and lie about me, nowhere to be seen when the actual debate needs to happen. And that goes for fans, YouTubers, viewers, everybody. Let me bring in Psycho Teacher. Just quickly before I do, Mark has said, I want Ange to succeed. However, Ange's subs after Fulham went down to 10 men was the worst that I've ever seen. If I didn't know, I think he was watching a Parks coach. I'll tell you what, this isn't a one-off though, is it? His substitutions are more often than not absolutely horrific. They went down, Mark, as you I'm guessing you're the same as me. They went down to 10 men and he takes off a playmaker. He doesn't even bring on a centre forward and brings on two 18-year-old midfielders. And you're thinking, what are you doing? Again, a manager for me is not fit for purpose. My man, how you doing? 2 weeks in a row.
Absolutely, sir. Such a big honor, Thanks a lot for having me. How is it going? How is your energy going on, sir?
How's my energy? Listen, do you know what? Let me tell you, when the camera turns on and we go live, I'm always full of energy. And I'm not scared to say what I think, or I'm not scared to back it up with facts, which I'm guessing my next guest is not going to like. But what do you want to say, my man?
If you were a player, if you were a footballer, you would be our number 6, sir. You would be a perfect number 6 if you were a footballer, mate. I can tell, your energy, amazing, amazing. I feel quite the same when I teach online, because indeed I'm an English teacher indeed, in Brazil, for foreign English, no teachings. And now I teach online. When the camera is on, I become another human being. But now I'm not working, sir. I come on, to debate you. Remember yesterday's stereo show, Tottenham away? Michael from Poland gave his testimony. How is the feeling to be a Tottenham supporter? And I got an immense curiosity, sir. I'd like to ask you this question, your personal opinion, please. How do you feel? How did you feel when Tottenham Hotspur start to become a more international football club, and suddenly you start to see, Brazilians, Japanese, Koreans, whatever the nationality is, supporting Tottenham? What was your feeling in the beginning? How did you feel?
I mean, it's not really something I ever gave too much thought to. I suppose it's a good thing. The more fans you have from around the world, the bigger your club gets. I don't see anything wrong with it. I see it as a real positive. What it does do, I do think that what it means is a lot of people that become become fans in recent years. I find sometimes it's difficult having a conversation because they don't know the history of the club, but that doesn't mean they can't support the club. I do feel sometimes that those fans, though, don't quite understand the frustrations of fans like myself, like some people in the chat that I can speak on their behalf, people like Phil P, people that have been Spurs fans for decades and decades. Sometimes when I get fans who have supported the club for 2 years saying to me, oh, you're not really a Spurs fan, you don't want Spurs to do well, you hate Ange because he's Australian. I'm like, what? Like, stop, right? Stop. I've supported this club through thick and thin, and I'm disappointed with the club. So, but I don't care where anyone comes from. I think it's great. I actually went to Brazil to watch the World Cup in 2014 and met a group of guys on the beach who were all wearing Spurs shirts. They were all Brazilian, hardly spoke English, but we had a great broken conversation about players and Spurs. And I think that's what football's all about for me.
By the way, you are always welcome to Brazil, sir, and also Japan, because my father was Japanese and I became a Tottenham supporter when I lived in Japan. So I was a Brazilian living in Japan who became a Tottenham supporter, and I was quite lucky because I had this British flatmate who was really fanatic for Tottenham and keeping, telling me the stories of Tottenham all the time. Amazing.
No, absolutely. I mean, is there anything? Obviously, when we spoke to Mikal yesterday, and he was telling us about how he became a Tottenham fan, and a bit tongue in cheek talking about he could have been a Liverpool fan or whatever. But
do you see us as betrayers? You know what I mean? I will explain you, sir. Is we from Poland, from Japan, from Brazil, we obviously as children we had a team who we all supported, and suddenly we don't support that team anymore, most of us, and we only support Tottenham Hotspur in terms of club. Do you see us a kind of betrayer?
Do I see it as a betrayal that people now support Spurs and have left their old club?
Yeah, our local clubs, because we don't support our local clubs anymore. Indeed, most of us.
Look, anyone can support whoever they want, right? I listen. I'm not here to tell them who they can support. You can't tell them who to support. No one can. When people say support your local club, I think these things are different. I'm from South London, but the first game I was taken to when I was 2 was by my uncle to Spurs. He lived in North London. So that's why I became Spurs. And I've had it all down the years going, why don't you support Charlton Athletic or Millwall, the clubs that are close to me? Like, well, this was the first club I was taken to. And obviously when I was 2, I didn't really know what was going on. But then as you get a bit older, you're like, oh my God, are we going to the football again? And the next thing you know, you support Spurs. So look, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. At the end of the day, people can support who they want. If people want to come over and support Spurs, great. But I do like it when people come over to support Spurs if they do a little bit of digging in the history. Because
the history of football in general, and the club you support, yes, it doesn't matter where it comes from. You must understand a bit of the culture of the club, absolutely. Otherwise, there is no point only, in the isolating match we win, Yeah, exactly. Only in the happiness of winning, absolutely.
No, listen. I as I said, I think that a lot of people are always saying, oh, you hate Ange because of where he's from, and I don't care whether someone is green, black, blue, white, pink. I don't care if somebody's from, I don't know, Asia or America or England or Australia. I don't care. I've got no issue with any of that. I just don't like bad managers or bad players. I don't care about anything else.
If my cat supports Tottenham nowadays. One more thing is you have mentioned before the prices, the ticket prices of the stadium to watch a football game at the new Tottenham stadium, which from the telly, it seems it looks like more a shopping center vibe than a football stadium, unfortunately, right? Yeah. And the prices are quite high, and I intend to go to London next year. Hopefully I can have the chance to meet you, sir, and the prices are really, really salty. Really high. Oh my God.
At Tottenham, are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is half the problem that a lot of fans have is that, Tottenham Hotspur, we now pay through the roof for everything whilst buying young players and average footballers. I think for what they charge, and I will need to let you go in a minute to get the Hitman on, but what we charge, we should be seeing top players. We should be seeing top managers. For me, I just don't think it's good enough. And I'll argue that with anyone about the club, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
And at the same time, the games have been quite excited. You don't feel like, oh my God, I must be in the stadium to support my football team because, Jesus Christ, the performances, etc. It's not something that excites you to be there, unfortunately. At the moment, at least. I don't know, next year, maybe things can change. And we hope things can change next year, sir. I thank you very much. You welcome me, as a Brazilian, Tottenham supporter, Japanese also Tottenham supporter. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, no, listen, always welcome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I'll see you again soon.
Thank you for your time, yes. Thank you very much, sir. Cheers.
Always. Take care, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. By the way, just quickly, Rico, you keep trying to come on. Listen, if you want to come on and you've got something to debate, I will debate you. But if it's going to be the same old I should like Daniel Levy argument, we've done it to death. And you keep saying you want to come on for an apology. It's not happening. I've got nothing to apologize to you for. All right. So I'd suggest you just go and watch an Arsenal channel or something. The Hitman is back for his second appearance on the show. How are you, buddy? You well?
I'm good. I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm always good. I'm always good.
Okay. All right, cool. Awesome. So yeah, like I said, I'm in a coffee shop, so apologies if the music's coming through or anything like that.
That's all right. I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So you were saying, I mean, I get your thing. You want consistency. And in fact, since the Ipswich game, I've kind of like stopped watching in the league. I'm like, for me to be very much invested in the league, I needed like a run of like 5-6 games where we really, we were at it, for the lack of a better word. Now, one thing I'm not great at is the tactical side. And you mentioned it in the beginning. You said the tactical naivety. Can you break that down? Like, why is he tactically naive? Why is it the high line? Why is that it doesn't work? Like, what is it? What is wrong with Ange from a tactical perspective? Break that down to me, because like I said, I've stopped watching the past few games.
So in my opinion, the reason I think he's tactically naive is because nothing has adapted. I haven't seen anything adapt in 18 months since he's been here. Listen, clubs all over the country, all over Europe and all over the world invert a fullback every now and then. This guy inverts both fullbacks, and what it does is leave so much space in behind. And we saw it yesterday. Fulham, who are, let's be fair, Fulham are a decent team. I'm not going to knock them. They're a decent team. They don't spend loads and loads of money. They've got a small stadium. They don't have a lot of revenue. Fulham exposed it. Again, Fulham exposed it easily because he doesn't adapt. He doesn't know how to change it during a game. We saw that when they went down to 10 men. His substitutions were truly atrocious. Like, everybody to a man was sitting there yesterday going, what are you doing? Like, collectively going, what are you doing? Tactically naive for me, because top managers will set up against opposition. You will look at the opposition and go, what is good about that team? Where are their strengths? Where are their weaknesses? Ange just says, right, this is our way of playing. This is our only way of playing. We're just going to do this. When it works, brilliant. The problem is we're seeing more often than not, it's not working. And when it's not working, he doesn't have any way to change it. He doesn't seem to have any way to adapt.
All right, I'm going to hit you with two things. The first is the Villa game, when he took off Madison, and I think he brought on Bissouma or Sarr. He brought on Sarr. I remember watching that game and being like, what's this guy doing, right? And it worked. We scored, I think, 3 in the second half. That to me is like, okay, this guy has some tactical acumen. Like, he knows what he's doing, for lack of a better word. So as a manager, I'm prepared to give it.
We didn't change the way we played, though. We just went a bit quicker in our tempo. I'm talking about, have a look at that game against Fulham. How many times did Robinson and Iwobi overlap or underlap on that left-hand side? And how many times on the other wing did Kenny Tete underlap or overlap? Because Udogie and Porro are never in I'm not blaming them, but they're never actually in fullback positions. And everyone goes, oh, that's great, and we're attacking, we scored loads of goals. And they celebrate that, oh my God, look, we're the top goal scorers in the league. Well, yeah, because the guy completely forgets the other end of the pitch.
That's not true.
He completely forgets it. Well, it is true.
That's not true. I think because we're up there in defensively. We're like, it could be better, I guess, but we're up there.
Okay, so you watch the games and you think we look good defensively.
I told you I stopped watching the games. Remember that. So
okay, so then this is really difficult then, the Hitman, because look, we can turn around and say we've conceded 14 goals and so have they, and these. But sure, how many we've conceded 96 chances on our goal in 5 games. 96 chances. Like, you can't keep doing it. Top teams do not concede that many chances a game. They just don't.
Okay, let me another point, kind of addressing this tactical naivety thing. Everywhere he's been, this is the style he's used, and it's worked for him. Why, I wouldn't expect him to change now, kind of thing, right? You know what I'm saying? It's worked everywhere he's been. I understand if he's like doubling down on it. So that's why I'm like, he's gonna die on his sword, right? Like, if he plays and it sucks, he's gonna lose his job. Right?
I agree. It's worked wherever he's been. What's the difference between where he's been and where he is now?
I guess the Premier League is the best league in the world.
The Premier League is one of the best leagues in the world. But not only that, every week, the teams you're playing against top managers that will out-tactic you. No offense, but when he's playing in Celtic, he's got the best squad, playing against teams that Celtic will beat week in, week out, regardless. Look at Celtic right now under Brendan Rodgers. They're winning everything. They're winning games every week. It's not, oh my God, Ange went to Celtic and was amazing, right? So when you come to places like this, managers will outsmart you. Yeah, Marco Silva will probably be gutted that Fulham didn't beat us. He came, his plan worked. They played much better than us. They had a lot more chances. They had more of the football. Yeah. And he's not used to playing teams like that in Scotland. He's not. So this doubling down on the tactics is fine, but not if you want to go from here to there. If you want to go from here to there, you've got to adapt. You've got to mold. You've got to change. Okay. We're becoming the way I look at it is this: we are becoming everybody's favorite team to watch, apart from Spurs fans, because we are so open in our games. Teams know you watch a Spurs game, you're going to see loads and loads of chances at both ends. That's great. As a Spurs fan, I want us to stop being so bloody awful at the back. I want to see him coach a back four. I want to see him not go gung-ho every minute of the game. And he said himself to Hitman, I have zero interest in being pragmatic. How can your manager say that?
No, I think he's being tongue-in-cheek, man. Like,
no. He wasn't. He came out. He said, "I don't know." This was his words. He said, "I don't know how many different ways I can say this. I have zero interest in being pragmatic," and his football shows.
I mean, I don't think the guys at the top level are idiots, right? Like, you can't. That would be not smart to say that. Like, it's like saying I don't want to win. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think he's saying that. I think, the British press get to him, and then he starts like being snarky and throwing in these kind of, wildish type of sayings every now. So I don't really. I think he said a few things recently that I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So,
but the Hitman,
it would be. The Hitman,
hang on. He's not only saying it. What's happening on the pitch is backing it up that he's not interested in being pragmatic. Now, being pragmatic doesn't mean you need to be defensive. And by the way, everyone, I have got the FA Cup draw on, so I will let you know of any standout ties, and I'll let you know about Spurs, who we get. But his tactics are showing us on the pitch that what he's saying is true. He has zero interest in being pragmatic. We're 2-1 up at home to Roma, who are starting to get on top of the game in the last 15 minutes. And he's still bombing forward. Fullbacks going forward. Be pragmatic for 10, 15 minutes. Get the win. He doesn't do it.
Okay, but let me give you another example. When people were saying, we're conceding so many set-piece goals, then he said, I don't want to hire a set-piece coach and all that. But recently, I think the set-piece goals have considerably come down. So he's definitely working, you know what I'm saying? Like, he says stuff, but I don't think it's necessarily what he's actually doing in training.
But it's showing. But this is correlating. This is correlating, right? He says, I don't want to be pragmatic. We all watch it and go, yeah, you are not pragmatic. And we've got fans that go, I love our style. How can you love a style of play that leaves you exposed every single time the opposition get the ball? How? It's madness.
I don't know, man. To me, like you said, you're more tactically savvy, but I'm just coming around to that side of the game. Maybe I'll look for it more, the next game I watch. But for me, I'm okay with where we're at right now. I'm not like I said, end of the season. If he hasn't won a trophy and we're like mid-table, then yeah, you can give him the sack. But till then, it's good football, man.
I don't think it is good football. I feel like this is a massive lie that Spurs fans are telling themselves that we play good football. I didn't think we were good against Roma. I didn't think we were good against Fulham. We were awful against Ipswich. Galatasaray outplayed us. What they're saying is we were good against Man City. And even then, that was because we were in the transition. I don't think the football is good. No. By the way, just quickly, Arsenal have been drawn at home. They are going to play... So, they are going to play Man United. Arsenal, Man United in the FA Cup third round. Arsenal v Manchester United. But, mate, listen, I don't find this style of play enjoyable. I don't think we're good to watch.
Even after Conte and Mourinho?
But people say even after Conte and Mourinho, what is it that this guy's actually doing that's better than those guys? What's he doing?
Scoring goals. He's scoring goals. The intent to score is there.
So Jose Mourinho's team for Spurs didn't score goals?
I had no idea what we're trying to do under Jose. Like, no idea. None. Like, Kane and Son carried us through, but the football was drab. Like, it was
But when you say the football was drab, look at the players those managers had compared to what Ange has got. There's a huge difference. Context is really important. Spurs scored a lot of goals under Jose Mourinho. Spurs went to Man United and won 6-1 under Jose Mourinho.
I just remember those times were dreadful, man. Like Jose era, horrible.
Everyone says that, but look at Spurs have won 1 in our last 5. 1 in our last 5. But if that had been Jose or Conte, everyone would be going, it's crap.
I don't know. 1 in
Just
our last
quickly,
5.
Aston Villa have been drawn at home to West Ham. Couple of big Premier League ties going on. I'll let you know when Spurs come out. But again, it's revisionism. Yeah? If you look at Conte and Jose's record as Spurs managers, they were better than Ange's. But everyone's going, but Ange plays good football.
Okay, how about this, though? Negative football and bad results, unacceptable. For me, positive football and bad results, I can deal with that more. If that makes sense.
But you said you've not been watching the games. What was positive about yesterday against Fulham? By the way, Man City are going to play Salford. Man City v Salford, so a local derby there, so to speak. What was positive about yesterday?
Like I said, I didn't watch it because of the Ipswich game.
Okay, but if you're going to come on and tell me you're coming on and saying positive football, can't tell me how it's positive.
So from what I like with Ange, the intent is to score. Jose, Conte, more so Jose. The idea is we're going to lock down the defense first, right? To hell with the game and making it attractive and all that.
And you know what? They're serial winning managers for a reason.
Yeah, but they have resources. Like, they have considerable resources.
Sure. So let me give you a couple of facts here. Jose Mourinho has broken records in England and Spain for the number of goals scored. And yet you're telling me that he's only defense.
That's what he's known for. I know with the Chelsea team they scored a bunch of goals, but Jose,
what he's known for is he realizes that to win titles you have to be tight at the back and score goals. Our manager now doesn't realize you need to be tight at the back.
So I'm hoping, like, what I think is, as you want to fix. I think when we first started the season, we're struggling offensively. You make some tweaks. When you have your offense settled, I think he works the other way around. Offense settled, then goes to the focus on the defense. That's what I hope.
Yeah, but you hope that. No manager's ever done that. Top managers go into clubs, fix the defense, and then sort out the forward line. It's never worked like that. Again, these are more excuses that we're giving Ange. No manager. The manager is telling you he does not want to be pragmatic, and people are still finding excuses as to when he will. Listen, I do need to let you go. I do need to get some other people on in a second, and I just want to do the end to the draw. But watch the games, man. You've got to watch the games before.
I'll try the cup games for sure. Cup games for sure.
Cool. Okay,
right.
Listen, thanks for coming on. I appreciate you. By the way, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Yuvraj. This is a debate show, my man. This is a debate show. Please only come on if you've got something you want to debate me on. Please don't just come on and want to talk football. This is not just a phone-in show. It always amazes me the number of people that are so vocal about me throughout the week and can never, ever come on and have the conversation. Spurs have been drawn away at Tamworth. Tottenham are playing Tamworth away in the FA Cup. Tottenham Hotspur are away to Tamworth in the FA Cup. And let's have a little look, shall we? Let's get some information about Tamworth right off the back. Tamworth, there we go. Where are they? Tamworth are in the National League. Tamworth are in the National League. They are 16th in the National League. 16th in the National League with 25 points. So Tottenham Hotspur will play Tamworth of the National League. There you go. A nice tie, some would say. Greg, I find it amazing how so many people now because Ange doesn't care about defending, they now think that any managers that know how to defend aren't good. Lena, listen, people are allowed on. If they want to come on and debate, they can come on and debate. It's, again, every single week when we do this, the same people don't turn up that talk in the chat. Not you, but it's madness. It's entertaining football for the neutral. It's not good football. It's risky, chaotic, reckless football. Any manager could do it. It's just push everyone forward. There's no intelligence to it. Completely agree with you. I don't see that this is nuanced football. I don't see that this is something they have to work hard on. This is have a lot of energy, just go forward. Don't worry about the back line. Simply Ace has said, Tamworth, we'll have a field day with our suicide football. Newcastle United are going to play Bromley, my local team, Bromley. Newcastle United v Bromley. I might go up there. If anyone fancies a night out in Newcastle. Everton are coming out of the bucket next, and they are going to play number 56, Peterborough. Everton versus Peterborough. Tamworth are in the non-league. They're in the National League. Where are we? I still don't expect us to win. Daniel Harris. By the way, where's all the debaters? Come on. I said debaters. The link is there. It is pinned. Portsmouth will play Wickham. Wickham Wanderers versus Portsmouth. I think all of the big boys have come out now. Number 54 is Birmingham. Birmingham City. They are going to play... Look, Tamworth 1, Tottenham 1. They are going to play Lincoln. Birmingham City versus Lincoln. Oh, dearie me. Number 18 is Leeds. Leeds United have just come out of the hat. So Leeds United. I'll give you the full list in a minute, by the way, when they put it on the screen. Leeds United are going to play Harrogate, who I believe that should be a derby, right? I think that's a derby, isn't it? Isn't Harrogate in Leeds? Mate, Foxy, it cracks me up. By the way, number 28, Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest. There's still 3 Premier League clubs to be drawn. Will play. No, they're going to play Luton. Nottingham Forest versus Luton. Nottingham Forest versus Luton Town. Sheffield United are going to be at home, and they will be playing Cardiff City. Sheffield United v Cardiff City. By the way, Barnet beat Tamworth 7-0. Brilliant. Ipswich have come out the hat. Ipswich are going to play Bristol Rovers. That means there's still 2 Premier League clubs. The first out the hat is going to be Fulham. Fulham, who are going to be at home to, there's only 3 teams left. Watford, Fulham v Watford, a London derby of sorts there. Angus, I would say it's the whole of Man City, wouldn't you? By the way, Crystal Palace are the last ball to be drawn. Crystal Palace will be at home to Stockport. So I will read you the full draw. I will read you the full draw when it comes up in a second. Bear with me. Bear with me. There's no balls left. It's all done. So let's see if we can get the full list up. Tamworth at home to Tottenham. So that'll be good for them. That'll be good for them to get some money in as well. I will let you know the full draw in a second. Here we go. Come on, BBC. Be quicker. Right. There we go. So Southampton versus Swansea. Arsenal versus Manchester United. Exeter versus Oxford United. Leyton Orient v Derby. Reading v Burnley. Aston Villa v West Ham. So another big game there. Norwich versus Brighton. Man City versus Salford. Millwall versus Dagenham and Redbridge. Liverpool versus Accrington Stanley. Bristol City versus Wolves. Preston versus Charlton. Chelsea are at home to League Two Morecambe. Middlesbrough v Blackburn. Bournemouth versus West Brom. Mansfield will play Wigan. Hang on. Tamworth versus Tottenham Hotspur. Hull City versus Doncaster. Sunderland v Stoke. Leicester City v QPR. Brentford versus Wayne Rooney's Plymouth. Coventry City versus Sheffield Wednesday. Newcastle versus Bromley. Everton versus Peterborough. Wickham versus Portsmouth. Birmingham v Lincoln. Leeds v Harrogate. Forest versus Luton Town. Sheffield United v Cardiff City. Ipswich v Bristol Rovers. Fulham v Watford. And Crystal Palace versus Stockport County. So Tottenham will be playing Tamworth away. So I'm guessing that's going to be on the telly box. But there we go. Yeah, there we go. A Yorkshire derby. Leeds versus Harrogate. There we go. So a Yorkshire derby. Big up to everyone in the chat. Who wants to debate? Where are the people? They come in. Where are they? Where are the Cam Tinleys? Where are those people? Where are the people that make videos about me? Where are they? Debate Savva. Louis K, yeah, let's do it. Let's have a trip to Tamworth. Let's do it. Why not? Tamworth away. It's who we are, mate. Absolutely Tamworth away. Where are we? Lads, it's only Tottenham. Can you imagine? Elucidated Imp said, relax, everyone. We'll beat Tamworth because Postecoglou won't be in the dugout in January. Yes, he will. He will be in the dugout. He will be in the dugout. Oh, wow. And there's a Tamworth in Australia. Oh, dearie me. Well, look, here is the link. If anyone does want to come on, there is the link to StreamYard. Feel free to jump on, and only if you want to debate. Please do not jump on if you have no interest in debating and you want to just say nice things and tell me how amazing my football opinion is. Let's not do that. It is pointless. 1 second. Just checking my ACCA, which is going along quite nicely. 3 and 4 nights would be a little bit greedy, but hey, why not? Why not? Strike while the iron's hot. Where are we? There we go. Oh. There we go. So who's going to come on? Otherwise, it's going to be a really boring show, isn't it? Who's going to come on and debate? It will be really great to have somebody tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why you love Postecoglou. Tell me why his substitutions weren't bad. Tell me why it's not his fault and why we can blame all of this on injuries. Feel free to come on. Let's have a look at some of the chats. Can you debate me on Saka versus Foden? Sure. Come on then. I mean, I don't know what the context around this is. I'll make it up on the spot, but let's do it. Yeah, go for it. Come on and debate me. Saka versus Foden. I guess you're taking Saka and you want me to take Foden, right? Caribbean, Spurs, etc. TV has said Rooney got sacked from Plymouth, didn't he? Or am I wrong? No, I don't think he's been. I don't think he's been sacked yet. George, I cashed out. Listen, I always assume that teams are Spursy, so I cash out if it's getting a little bit silly. Angus, the floor is yours. Daniel Harris has said, fun fact, Savva, I was randomly sat opposite Dean Ashton on the train the other day. That's brilliant. I actually liked Dean Ashton. I thought he was a good centre forward and really unlucky with injuries, but he was a good old school, big hold-up player. I liked him. By the way, tomorrow, oh my gosh, I don't know if I've lost you all. I've just paused my computer. Hopefully you're still there. Just so you know, tomorrow we've got a couple of good things for you. Sean will be coming on my channel tomorrow at 6 p.m. Sean Butler from Spurs Talk Show will be coming on and we'll be discussing all things Tottenham. Yes, who is talking about other YouTubers? Who is talking about other YouTubers? Not in here. We don't do it. We don't do it. Let's not talk about other YouTubers, all right? It's pointless. Let's talk some football. So Angus wants to Angus, everyone loves you. You're like a celebrity out there. How are you, mate?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Yeah, listen, we've just drawn the mighty Tamworth away in the FA Cup. So
and we got Man United.
And yeah, you've got so Man United have got Spurs away in the League Cup quarter-final and Arsenal away in the FA Cup third round. We're not here to talk about that. You want to, I mean, bearing in mind, you wanted this debate. You want to debate Saka versus Foden. Give me some context. Tell me what I'm debating about, and we'll take it from there.
Foden is a system player. Saka isn't.
Foden is a system player. Saka isn't. Can you elaborate? Because I don't know how I can just debate that one fact. What elaborate?
Ever since Foden came into City, he's just been a system player. That's how they've got the best out of him.
What does that mean? Like when we're saying he's a system player, aren't all players system players?
I get that, but like Saka's more versatile than Foden.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this straight away. Right, we're in the throw of things. I'll see how this is going to go. I hope you brought your A game. For somebody that you're saying is more versatile, I only ever see Saka playing on the right wing. How's that versatile?
Because when he just came into the team,
right?
He was versatile. Like if he got some injuries, he could play midfield. He could play left back.
Where does he play week in, week out for Arsenal?
Predominantly, he's a winger. He's a winger.
Where has Foden played for Man City over the years?
He could play he's played in the 10, he's played on the left, and he's played on the right.
So wouldn't you argue then that Saka's more a system player than Phil Foden, who can play anywhere?
But like, it's weird. Like, who would you say is the better player?
Phil Foden, for me, is a better footballer. Saka's more direct. I think it's a really difficult one because they're very different footballers. Phil Foden's more of he wants to get on the ball. He wants to create. He wants to dictate. He wants to drop into those little spaces and play through balls. Saka's very much, for me, a get the ball. I want to run up my winger. And by the way, I like that type of player. I love that type of winger. Go at your player, either whipping across or cutting and have a shot. So they're very different footballers. And for me, I think it's difficult because Phil Foden, for me, has turned up in much bigger games than Bukayo Saka.
We haven't got definers. That's the problem. We haven't got over the line. That's the problem.
I agree. But look, and I'm not saying he can't. I like Saka. I think Saka's a good player. I don't think he's what you lot think he is. I think he's in great form, by the way. I know you lot talk about him being like 450 million or whatever you want to.
I never said that much. I know. I
would say that. Look, they both play in very different styles of football. Man, look, if we're going to have the debate about right now, it's really difficult because Phil Foden and all of Man City, I wouldn't say anyone at Man City is playing well. They are struggling for a reason. They've hit a brick wall. They need a reset.
What do you think the reason is for, though? Like, Rodri?
No, I don't think it's just down to Rodri. They won. I just feel that after 4 years of dominating, 4 this is, by the way, 4 years of dominating and 6 titles in 7 years. You
and are going to hit twice to them.
You're going to hit a brick wall at some point. And look, for me, I think they'll be fine. I do. I know that it's great. Everyone in football's going, oh, it's brilliant. Man City aren't dominating and people are beating them. Make the most of it while we can because Pep's too good to not turn this around. Now, whether or not that means winning a league this year, probably not. I think Liverpool are flying, but he's too good to not turn this round. Yeah. For me, they've got too many good players. They'll go and buy. He's built.
Can they buy
teams.
though? Can they buy? Because I don't think they're allowed to.
My understanding is that they're allowed to. Listen. Ask yourself this question: why did Pep sign a new 2-year contract at City?
For the rebuild?
He must, in my mind, he must have been promised something. Let me say this, Angus, right? If I'm Pep and I go in and I'm having contract talks with the chairman and I say, right, okay, listen, we're coming to a bit of a end of an era here. I've got a lot of good young players coming through, but my more established players are Silva, De Bruyne, not so much Kovacic, but Gundogan and Stone. They're all getting a bit older. Walker. Right, I need to buy. I can't believe there's any way in which they would have turned around to him and said, no, you can sign a 2-year contract, but we're not going to buy for you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right, and I think that they'll go. My first thought was that they're going to try and get Zubimendi.
I'm thinking the exact same.
And I think Pep will find a way to play Zubimendi and Rodri together when Rodri's back, and it will be a sublime midfield.
Do you think they'll go for Florian Wirtz or Musiala?
Those sorts, yes. Those I can't say. I mean, Florian Wirtz, by the way, what a footballer!
He's quality. He's ridiculous.
But I think what you'll start to see is right. De Bruyne goes. Who's the next De Bruyne? Is it a Wirtz? Is it a Musiala? Is it
But that's what they've got Foden for as well, though, because they all thought that was the replacement for De Bruyne.
Yeah, and he could well be. Listen, let's be fair. Phil Foden played most of last season in the playmaker role because De Bruyne was out. And he was, again, this is the thing when we're talking about Saka and Foden,
he was unbelievable.
He was player of the year. You don't go from being player of the year to shit. You go from player of the year to being badly out of form. But Phil Foden is a victim of his own success. He is, if I'm not wrong, let's have a look. Phil Foden, right?
He's 23.
Right? Well, he's 24, right? He's 24 now, right? Phil Foden is 24, right? He's already got 43 England caps by the age of 24. So he's nearly at the half century already, right? And this is what he's done in a Man City shirt, all right? He's played 287 games by the age of 24 for Man City, right? He's got 90 goals in a Man City shirt, right? And he's won 1, 2, 3, 4. He's won 6 Premier Leagues, 2 FA Cups, 4 League Cups, 2 Community Shields, a Champions League, a Super Cup, and a FIFA World Club Cup. And he's been player of the year, right? He's done all of that by 24. And what the world of football want to do, not saying you, but what the world of football want to do is they want to see him have a dip, right? With the rest of his teammates, by the way, that it's not like he's shit and they're all doing well. And what people want to do is say, Phil Foden, I never rated him. He's not that good. And you're like, whoa. Phil Foden's a class footballer and he will bounce back, as will Rico Lewis, as will Haaland, do you know what I mean? They will bounce back.
Do you think Pep wants a new right back?
I reckon eventually Rico Lewis will probably play there, but he'll need to buy a right back. Yes, I think he will need to get another one.
I think he might go for Jeremy Frimpong.
Class player, really good player.
Quality player.
Really good player. See, and this is the thing. Look, I think, listen, I've been a big fan of Pep Guardiola for years, from when I saw him come through as a player. Let me put that out there, right? As a player, I was a great fan of Guardiola. As a manager, I think he's exceptional. And it's fun that we can all go, oh, look at them, they can't win, and we're all laughing at them. But like he did yesterday, when he went like that, he's right.
Yeah.
He's won 6 out of 7. Is it 6 out of 7 or 6 out of 8 league titles?
Something like that. It's ridiculous.
So listen, I would just say enjoy it while we can. because I do think that they will be back at some point. And then when they're back, everyone will look really silly. But look, can they win it this year? I think it's a huge ask now, isn't it? It's a huge ask.
Do you think we finish above Man City?
No.
You think you think we finish third?
I look. It's difficult because if Man City stay in this type of form for much longer, then yeah, you could. But the cream always rises to the top. And again, I say this every year. You see me every year say this, Angus. It's not about where Man City are in November or December. It's about what they do between January and May. And I don't think this year will be any different. But Chelsea, look out for Chelsea.
We're leveling everything with them currently. They're
a very, very good football team. And everyone's kind of let that go under the radar. They've got a very good manager. They look very well drilled. They've got good wingers. Nicholas Jackson, whatever we want to say about him, he's scoring goals. Palmer is on fire. Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez suddenly look like the top midfielders they paid 100-odd million for. So I think Chelsea are going to be there or thereabouts. I really do. I think, and Man United, by the way, Man United.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's just wait and see. That's all I'm saying. Let's just wait and see what Amorim does.
Sure. But
how are you feeling about Sunday?
How am I feeling about Sunday? What, last Sunday or next Sunday?
Yeah. This Sunday.
Oh,
is it?
Fulham?
This Sunday?
Fulham?
No, the Chelsea game.
Oh, Chelsea. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm watching.
Well done. Sorry, my mum's shouting.
Oh, you're right. I'm watching how Fulham were better than us. I'm watching how Roma, started to dictate the game in the second half. I'm watching how Galatasaray are all over us. I'm watching how Ipswich came to our ground and beat us. I'm not looking forward to it. Sorry, any Spurs fans in the chat. I'm guessing most of you are Spurs fans. Let me know in the chat who is looking forward to playing Chelsea. They normally get the better of us, and they're in form. Let's have a look, shall we? Chelsea, right? So Chelsea in Premier League. Let's have a look. I might be completely wrong. In the form table, Chelsea are second. They've only conceded 4 goals in their last 6 games. If we look at the top scorers list, Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer have both got 8 goals. But between Palmer and Jackson, they've got 16, 20. They've got 25 goal contributions between Palmer and Jackson.
Is Palmer the one player you're worried about the most on Sunday?
Yes, obviously I'm worried about Cole Palmer. What worries me more than anything is their midfield.
Oh, yeah.
Powerful. Spurs don't do well against powerful midfields. We want to play midfields like when we played you guys. Yes, I know you won, but we had all the football, and I think we had the more powerful midfield on the day because you had, I think, Rice and Odegaard both out, right? I think it was Rice and Odegaard, yeah. When we played Man City, their midfield 3 was Gundogan, Silva, Lewis. It's the nice footballers. When we play against Chelsea, we'll be playing against Caicedo and what's his name? And Enzo Fernandez or Lavia. These are men.
You could even play against Vega as well.
Vega's a very good young player coming through there as well. Yeah. But I'm worried about it. I am worried about it. Can we beat them? Look, I don't know anymore. We battered City. We battered Villa. We battered West Ham. We battered Man United. But then we couldn't beat Palace, Ipswich, Fulham, Galatasaray, Rome. I don't know what we are as a club at the moment, Angus. I just don't know. I don't know.
That's legendary.
Yeah. You know I like to... Look, we are that.
Yeah, so, you told me that as well.
do you know what?
I got that from.
I think the problem for me is if I turn around and say a prediction. I've got my last 4 predictions wrong. Right, let's have a look at Spurs, right? In my last 4 predictions, okay, I said that Spurs would beat Fulham 3-1. We drew 1-1. I said we'd beat Roma 3-1. We drew 2-2. I said we'd lose to City 2-1. We won 4-0. I said we'd beat Ipswich 4-0. We lost 2-1. Right, at the moment, I don't know. And I'm guessing a lot of Spurs fans are probably thinking the same.
Do you know the game Ange will not want to lose the most?
Rangers.
Yep.
Rangers.
That game.
Are Rangers playing at Ibrox this year? They're not, are they?
Yep. They're back at Ibrox.
They're back at Ibrox. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
They're better in Europe than they are in the league. In the league, they're shocking.
What do you reckon about that? I mean, Rangers can Rangers beat Spurs? Can Spurs beat Rangers? Yeah. What do you reckon?
I reckon Rangers could beat you.
So, from an Arsenal fan point of view, I can't believe I'm going to ask you this.
I'm a Celtic fan as well.
I'm a Celtic fan. We've got Bournemouth and Chelsea next Tottenham. What do you see Spurs getting? How many points from Bournemouth and Chelsea?
Honestly, none.
None.
I don't think we'll get. No.
I think we'll win one of them, and not because I think we're in great form, purely because we are so up and down. I think we will lose one and look terrible, and I think we'll win one and look brilliant. And then everyone again will be like, "He's great, he's shit. He's great, he's shit." And that is what we will do.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat, let me know how many points are Tottenham going to get. Listen, Angus, I am going to let you go, my man. Listen, all I know is
problem, mate.
Saka and Foden, both very good footballers. And I know we always want to, rival people off and who's better, but I'd happily take both. And I'm sure Tuchel will be very happy he's got both.
Can I just say, both of them starting your team 100%. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Sorry, did you think that I would argue that point on you?
No, but a lot of you fans are, though. A lot of you fans are saying that Brennan Johnson's better than Saka.
I'll tell you what, guys and girls in the chat. Would Saka and Foden walk into our team? Does anyone think that either of those wouldn't be able to get in our 11? Listen, I'm going to let you go, Angus, but much love, and I'll see you in the chat.
You too, man. Enjoy your holiday as well.
Mate, I'm still here for a week and a half. I'm here for a week and a half. I've got a live score show Wednesday night as well, so join me for that. I'll speak to you then, man, all right?
I'll be watching the Arsenal game as well, so perfect.
Yes.
I'll have you on my phone. I can get you on my TV. All right, catch you in a bit, bud.
Excellent.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I can give everyone 5 more minutes if anyone, we can go as long as we want, but if anyone would like to come on, there is the link for anyone that wants to come on and debate. I always notice that when Spurs lose a game, people don't tend to want to come on and debate. When Spurs win a game, people are very much... When we beat Man City, everyone was flooding in, going, "Oh, give Ange time." But where are all those people? Jamie, you're spot on. This is my problem under this manager. I just don't know what we are. I don't know what we are. I don't know. All I know is we're not difficult to play against. Stephen Seagull, I love that, said 0 points for the next 2 games. And I think we'll only beat Southampton from the next 6 in all. Interesting. Both of them with one leg would get in. Yeah, they would. I don't know if Angus thought I was going to bite on that and go, no. I mean, of course, Foden and Saka walk into our team even in their worst of form, they walk in. Let me know if anyone would like to come on. Philly, big up, brother, from another mother. I hope you're well, man. It's amazing, isn't it? They're always in the chat, these people, Philly. They're always in the chat. They never turn up. Lee, I completely agree with you. I've had this issue with him. It wasn't, do you know what it was? It wasn't that we lost to Chelsea last year. It was the manner in which we lost to Chelsea in the first game where he just went gung-ho. And I was thinking to myself, please let that be a one-off. And then when we saw it week after week, I was like, nah, this isn't for me. Just this manager isn't for me. call me old-fashioned, but I like some balance. I like a manager that actually understands when we need to defend as well. Joe said his cat walks into our team. Big up to one of my favorites. Look, El Del Cocorel. Jose, how we doing, man? I hope you're well. By the way, please do keep smashing that subscribe button, people. We're edging closer to 14 and a half K. So please do. We're going to try and get to 15K by the end of the month, but I think it's a big ask. Tottenham are the most profitable sports franchise in the world. Yeah, it really helps us on the football pitch, doesn't it? Look, I don't think we should do this simply, Ace. Listen, all I know is, as I said, I don't support Ange. I support Tottenham Hotspur, right? And I've always lived by this with players and managers, right? Managers and players come and go, right? But Tottenham will still be there. So once this manager goes, whether it's this month, this year, this decade, whenever this manager goes, somebody else will come in. We'll all be having the same conversations. Is he good enough? What's he done right? What's he done wrong? Has Levy backed him? That's what we do. We're football fans. We talk about our football club. So listen, it doesn't look like anybody else is coming on, which is a real shame. I was really looking forward to some football debates. It's where I hold my own. So I'll go until 8 o'clock. So I'll go for another 8 minutes and hopefully somebody wants to come on and debate. But isn't it funny? The same people always go quiet when Spurs don't win. It's madness. I'm here, win, lose, or draw. As I said, got it terribly wrong versus Man City. Got it terribly wrong against Palace, against Ipswich, against Fulham, against Roma. I can't get a result at the moment, me. I can't get it right. You're more than welcome. Yeah, unfortunately, this does appear to be the case. Oh, you've got to love Mark. I love you so much, Mark. Yeah, Tottenham and Poch. Yeah, you're never, ever going to... You know what? You're going to be 110 in an old people's home somewhere over there in the West Country, telling people how much you loved Pochettino all those years ago. I can see it now. Give me 5 minutes, I think. Give me 5 minutes. Think I want to defend Levy. You want to defend Levy? Bring it on. Anyone who wants to defend Levy. Daryl said, must be one Angina telling us what's improved. It is funny, though, isn't it, Daryl? Like, what I hear a lot, and Daryl, you've watched me since the beginning. I hear all the time that I'm an echo chamber. And, oh, you'll only allow people on who agree and who think the same as you. And yet when you have these shows... I just can't get the people to come on. But hey, it is what it is. We'll go for a couple of more minutes. Angus said, if you want to do a preview of the Rangers Tottenham before you leave, and I'll come and tell who. Right, yeah, listen, that'll be good, Angus. Let's do that. By the way, so just from a channel perspective, yes, this. Where is the fruit guy? Yeah, where is Gary? Listen, I liked Gary. He frustrated me, but I liked Gary. There was no malice. But again, I've not seen him since he told me that our transfer window was good and that we were building. And I've not seen him for a while. I bet you if suddenly we won 5 games in a row, these people would suddenly come out. Will we ever see Spurs win a league title? I don't think we will in my lifetime. I'm not even nearly dead, and I still don't trust. I really don't trust this chairman. So until he goes, I don't trust anything. Absolutely. We definitely should be at 150 likes, only at 128. Real shame I couldn't get more people on for you. We should have a debate on Ben Davies. I don't know what there is to debate on Ben Davies, Philly. Is there? What? I don't think there's much to debate on him. It is what it is. He's been at Spurs forever. We should have sold him. He comes in. He works hard. But it's not the quality you need. I don't really know what else there is to say. By the way, in Acca Watch today, for anyone who cares, I know I like to tell you lot my Accas. My Acca tonight was Fenerbahce, who won 3-1. 3-1. Edin Dzeko scored a goal in that game. I've got Fenerbahce. I've got Guimarães to beat Gil Vicente. They are 2-0 up. I've gone with a bit of a these lot were 3.5-1. So this is the outside shot. I've got Roma to beat Atalanta. Now I know that's crazy because Atalanta are flying, but I'm gonna, Ranieri's first home game. I'm gonna go for Roma, and I've got Seville to beat Osasuna. And that bet, because of those odds, puts the winnings up to about 1,400 quid, purely because the Roma at 3.5 to 1. A double S16. I thought you had disappeared. So what's the percentage on who's to blame when it comes to Ange and the players? They both need to take accountability. Of course, they both need to take accountability, but it really does help when you've got a tactically astute manager. If you haven't got a tactically astute manager, then it really is very, very difficult to follow those instructions. Double S, feel free to come back on, my man. We'll have that debate, because I know you keep backing Ange, and that's fine. But for me, again, the last month has shown me why I don't back him. Big up to Omar. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Savva? You good, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. Last time I was actually here on your channel doing your debates, and I'll be honest with you, right? I didn't watch the game against Fulham. I did go back to watch the highlights. However, I did watch your game against Tottenham, right? I'm sorry, Roma, in the Europa League, right? And for the neutral standpoint, very entertaining game. I was doing a watch along, completely enjoyed the game. But this is the thing, right? After watching that game, I said it. I was like, this club, right? I call Tottenham Robin Hood FC. And the reason I call them Robin Hood FC is because basically, what is the moniker of Robin Hood? Steal from the rich and feed the poor. You understand what I'm saying? That's literally Tottenham right now. You guys will always turn up against the teams which on paper you should technically lose to, or more likely to lose to. You turn up for those games, but then when it comes to the games where you're like, all right, no pressure, no problem, this should be an easy 3 points, it should be far, it should be a gone conclusion, you guys don't turn up. We saw it against Ipswich. No wins in the league. First win against Tottenham. Playing against Fulham, drawing at home against Fulham, beating Manchester City 4-0. Like, the inconsistency is ridiculous. And look, at the end of the day, I understand your position when it comes to Ange, right? As a guy who's a neutral, I really kind of see where both fans' point of view are coming from, right? Because I feel like a lot of people who are Ange inners are kind of looking at like the past few managers you've had in the past, where you've tried to go for the winning manager. You understand what I'm saying? To win the trophies. And the football wasn't great. You understand what I'm saying, right? And sometimes when you're watching football that is not amazing on the eye, right, it can be infuriating if you're not winning trophies at the end of it, right? And I feel like a lot of these fans have gone to a point now where they're like, if we're not going to win anything, let's at least look like we're having a go. You understand what I'm saying, right? And do you have something you want to say, Savva?
No. Go. Sorry, I was just letting Double S know. He said, "How can I join?" The link is pinned, and Double S is there. The link, it's in the chat right there.
Yeah.
Look, go on, Omar. Go on.
But yeah, basically the point I was getting to is a lot of the fun, basically Ange inners, I think the way they're looking at it is that, well, with Ange, right, sometimes it can get infuriating, when you turn up in some games and not turn up in other games. But I feel like a lot of them are kind of looking at it and saying, listen, we wanna support a team that's having a go in every single game. You understand what I'm saying, right? Regardless if we win or lose. And they're kind of also looking at the season and saying, listen, at the end of the day, we're still in, we're still in the Carabao Cup. We're still in the Europa League. We're still technically in the fight for top 4, right? Where the FA Cup hasn't started yet. So we're still in and around those areas. You understand what I'm saying, right? So
yep.
I completely understand that. And also, for the people who are Ange out, like, listen, at the end of the day, I haven't met a lot of people who are Ange out, and I haven't really heard their reasons for it, right? But I kind of see both points. Because, yes, it's kind of infuriating to have to turn up against City, play that amazingly, and then literally go and play the next game, literally your next Premier League game at home, and perform like that.
Yeah. Look, I think it's difficult because we've almost done a 180 as a club. There was a spell where we couldn't beat the better teams, Omar. Right? We would beat the lesser teams. No disrespect, we would beat the teams we were meant to be beating, and we couldn't beat the Liverpools, the Uniteds, the Cities. Now it feels very much that the smaller teams, it's like they come with a really good game plan. And as I've said, if I was a manager, I would love to set up a game plan against Ange. Because when Ange does this gung-ho, I've never seen a manager play 2 inverted fullbacks, watch it get dismantled game after game and still keep doing it. I've never seen it.
Yes.
Look, for me, as I said, he's told us that, again, anyone that likes him, that's up to them. I'm not out here, Omar, telling anybody whether they should like him or not. All I can do is give my humble opinion. Yeah. And my opinion is I think he's a poor manager. I think his tactics are poor. His substitutions are woeful. I think his substitutions are dreadful. And for me, I'm just a bit bored of him being at the club. However, I also acknowledge that when people say things like, give him till the end of the season, Omar, it's not my decision. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're football fans. We do this. We talk. We banter. It's meant to be fun, isn't it? It's meant to be fun. I know everyone goes mad with it and they take things really personally. But at the end of the day, I'm just a football fan like everyone else who's putting my opinion forward. And my opinion is I don't rate him as a manager. That offends a lot of people. It offends a lot of people. But it is what it is. And listen, I could be wrong, Omar.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. We might get to the end of the season. We've won a trophy or 2. We finished top 4. And you know what? I turn around and go, well, my opinion was wrong. And that's what I do. You know, it's not this big thing in football that people are scared of being wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. Because if I'm wrong, it means my club is successful. But everyone's got so much ego that they can't. What I find funny is I find that a lot of the people that defend Ange the ones that will die on their sword, they can never critique him. They just say a lot of nice things about him, but they can never actually say, yeah, hang on, look, these tactics or the substitutions.
Yeah, hold them to criticism in certain performances. I you know what it is? This reminds me, I don't know if you remember, Savva. Do you remember Klopp in the 16-17 season when they were fighting for top 4?
I do.
Do you remember how they would play whenever they played like the Tottenhams, the Manchester Uniteds, the Chelseas, the Cities, right? They will always turn up against them and then they would play Burnley the next week and then lose at home. Did you remember how they would, and that inconsistency, and then basically what really changed that is when they signed Van Dijk and Alisson and basically right? That's where things kind of change. I'm looking at this current Tottenham team. Do you think that maybe it has more to do with like maybe the players that you have, and then maybe if you guys sign certain players in certain positions, that maybe things might change?
Look, I suppose any football club in the world could have the conversation about if we had better players. I mean, any football club in the world, right, could say that. If we had this player, I could say, well, if we had Virgil van Dijk at the back and Kevin De Bruyne in midfield, and if we had Haaland up front, the problem is, I think that you've got to work with. I think you've got to work with what you've got, and I think Ange is dreadful at working with what he's got. I think he's literally got. This is my tactic. It doesn't matter if I've got the players to play it. I'm going to do it regardless. And that's fine. But that is why you do this. Because there are managers of smaller clubs that have squads that are nowhere near as good as Tottenham's that get better out of their players. Look at Thomas Frank at Brentford.
Right.
If you looked at Brentford's, no offense, if you looked at Brentford's squad on this side and Spurs on that side, yeah, you're always going to have 2 or 3 that you go, oh, I really like them from that squad. But in the main, you're not going to take a lot of their players. The same with Fulham. The same with Bournemouth. But these managers realize, okay, this is what I've got. This is my budget as a manager. How do I make us hard to beat? Right? And that is what these clubs do. Now, people go, oh, look at the football they play. I wouldn't expect a team like Brentford or Fulham or Bournemouth to come out and be free-flowing tick-attacker football. But they're hard to beat. They're organised. And I look at Spurs. I don't think we are organised. I genuinely think we're one of the most wide-open teams I've seen. And for me, I've seen, this is one of the worst managers I've seen at Spurs. His tactics are not... listen, I put the context on that.
Okay.
There are worse managers that we've had, but that also had terrible squads, right? This manager, I don't think has got a terrible squad and makes us look so bad when teams are attacking us. It's unreal. He can't organize a defense. He can't get it right in mid. He just is. He isn't for me.
Yeah, defensively, he's not good. His whole way of playing is basically amazing going forward. Defensively, an issue. And I feel like maybe that is why you guys do struggle against teams like Ipswich, like Fulham, because they're not going to come to Tottenham and basically play football. You understand what I'm saying, right? They're not going to come in and try to basically beat you man for man. They're going to basically set up basically with a good structure, right? And try to hit you on the break. And the way basically Ange's style of play goes, where it's always like high line, high intensity style of football. Yeah, if you play against certain teams, you will get in trouble. Listen, I watched the game against Roma. You guys scored very early, and from then on, it looked like Roma were basically in charge. They were basically having a lot of chances. They equalized. They had a goal disallowed, and then you guys went back into the lead. But that whole second half, it was basically all Roma, right? And they were very unlucky, and you guys did end up going and leaving there with a draw, which was disappointing because you guys led the whole game. But I kind of look at it and I said, at some point, I felt like you guys were, how do I put it? You guys were just happy to just keep the lead, right? You were not.
We were naive. We were not again, and again, we were naive, and this is half the problem. When Ange says, like, and he came out, he said this, and there was no tongue in cheek to it. He said, "I don't know how many ways I can keep saying this. Yeah, I have zero interest in being pragmatic." But the problem is, when you are beating Fulham at home and you are beating Roma at home, and that team is starting to get on top, starting to get a lot of the football, starting to create chances, that's where you need the manager to go, right, I need to be a bit more pragmatic here. We need to drop 10 yards. We need to get a few more bodies behind the ball. Mm-hmm. Our fans have been brainwashed, not all of them, some of them, to thinking that, oh, that means negative. That's not negative. Negative is when you put 10 men behind the ball and play that way all game.
Yes.
But when you're 2-1 up against Roma and you can see for the last 15, 20 minutes, they were having chance after chance, thinking, right, just drop 10 yards. Tell the fullbacks to stop flying forward. Tell everybody to just calm down. Mm-hmm. And everyone said it. Every single person watching the game said, this is coming. The goal is coming, Omar. And it did come against Fulham at the weekend.
Wow.
Against Fulham, you could see the goal was coming, and he doesn't do anything to adapt to what other managers are doing. And that, for me, you can't ever be, you might win the odd cup. I'm not saying you can't have a cup run like that. Mm-hmm. But if you want to go and be a real sustainable, successful team over a period of time, you can't be as open as Spurs are.
And I agree with that. This is I completely agree with that. I think I look at Ange and I say, for me, right, if they are going to keep Ange, the only reason I would say they should basically keep Ange should be around is if he does end up winning you guys a cup. Because if he wins you guys a cup, he's basically been on paper one of your most successful managers in years. You understand what I'm saying, right? Because he's brought a trophy back to Tottenham, right? But I would say this, long term, I agree with you. I think that Ange's style of football at some point, the fans will start saying, listen, we've had enough. Like I don't like the way, like, sometimes it works against when we play the big teams, but when we play against teams that have a good structure, we can't break them down, or we're basically getting battered every time we're like 1-0 up and we know that the goal is coming. You understand what I'm saying? Right? It is infuriating and frustrating.
Do you know what I think, Omar? I think, look, listen, there's no right or wrong here in terms of football. Fans watch football for different reasons. I'm somebody who I was always very, very interested in tactics. I did all of my coaching badges when I was younger because I loved listening to experts talk about it.
Right.
I was a pain in the arse on my coaching courses. I was asking all the senior coaches that there were ex-pros on the training course. I was asking questions. Why would you do this? When would a manager do? I was just like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I love to know, right? So that's what I like. I like press conferences. I like listening to when Klopp talks and when Pep talks and when I like listening to their reasons behind what they did, and I like that. Now, I now acknowledge that there's other fans who don't care by that. There are other fans that just go, I just support Spurs, that's all that matters. Fine. I'm not knocking them, but I think a lot of people that are a bit more tactically savvy, the people that actually care about the tactics, look at this manager and go, the tactics don't work, right? And what I don't mean is, I'm not saying we're going to lose every game, but the reason we're so inconsistent is because the tactics, managers are starting to work it out over. I say
you only have a plan A, and I agree with that point. Right. See, this is the thing, Savva. I completely agree. I've said this before. Even at my club, when I support Barcelona, I say the same thing even now. Whenever I talk about my team, whenever we're winning, I'm like, I feel like I only see one style of play, and yes, it works against certain teams, but I've seen certain teams learn to counter that. And the issue is, I don't see a plan B when plan A doesn't work, and that's what worries me. Because eventually, if teams start to realize, okay, this is how we need to play against these guys just to always beat them, right? You're going to get exposed. And that's the thing with Ange. The problem with Ange is, even admitted this. I know that he said it. Like, listen, he said he's not going to change his style of play. He's going to play the way he does. That's fine. But the issue is, you're not always going to be the team on the front foot. You understand what I'm saying, right? You're going to get to games where managers are going to start to figure out, oh, wait a minute, this is how you actually play against this Ange team. Just do this, and you're going to always get the win. Because he's not going to change. His arrogance is not going to make him change the style.
Do you know, the last thing I'll say, because I do have one last person to bring on afterwards, I think you're spot on. When you are telling people, this is what we do, I have zero interest in being pragmatic, it allows every other manager that is playing against you to go, okay, we know what you're going to do. We know what you're going to do. And like yesterday, bearing in mind, this was a Fulham team that got beaten 4-1 last weekend at home by Wolves.
Yes.
Right? But from that team, they then lost two of their first team starters in Pereira and Joachim Andersen. They come to Tottenham, and their game plan was spot on. They underlapped. They didn't overlap. They underlapped in behind our inverted fullbacks, and they did it brilliantly. And I'm sitting there saying it. Everyone in my chat is going, you've got to do something about this. Ange doesn't do anything. You get to half time, he doesn't change anything. Then you're thinking to yourself, they're going to score. And they did, because they kept underlapping. And I know a lot of people don't use the term underlapping, but all they were doing was the wide men were going forward, slipping it into the underlapping channel, and Theo Robinson and Kenny Tete on the fullbacks coming forward took us apart. And if all of the fans can sit there and see it, how can Ange? And he's not done it in 18 months. I get fans tell me all the time, he'll sort it. Don't worry. He's good.
Yeah. You're right. That is infuriating. It really is.
When?
And look, let me say this. And because I know you got someone else who's coming soon, right? I was just about to basically make a good point. Man, I got a brain freeze for a second. But basically, yes, the manager's tactics is very, very annoying. And listen, at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people who are supporting Ange and don't criticize him they were just numb to the style of football that they had in the past. And listen, I'm not excusing and defending their actions, right? I'm not saying that they all think this way, but I feel like a lot of them, they just got tired of the style of football of the past, where now they just look at this pragmatic style of football that basically Ange is trying to play, and they're like, yeah, we'll deal with it. And this is how I'm going to close it with, right? The fact that you guys won 4-0 last week against City, and this week when you played Tottenham, I was hearing Tottenham fans coming around and saying, oh, wow, we're playing Fulham. This is just the game where we could draw points. Like, that is not, as a fan, how you want to be thinking of games, especially when you're playing teams that you should be on paper. You understand what I'm saying, right? The fact that you have that mindset as a fan to think that, oh, we're playing United? Yeah, we can win. We could probably win. But against Fulham or against Bournemouth or Brentford, you're sitting there thinking, I don't know. This is just one of those games where we could potentially lose or we could potentially draw. You understand what I'm saying, right? It's not what you want to do.
I agree. Look, for me, as I said, I will always look at the tactics. I will always look at the evidence over a long period of time. And for me, the manager isn't learning. Nothing's changing. Again, everyone went mental over the Man City win. But the two games before Man City were shit. And the two games after Man City have been, Roma was okay. Fulham was crap. So if you look at the last 5 games, the Man City game is making it look a lot better than it is. But look, he isn't for me. Tactically, I think he's one of the worst managers in the Premier League tactically. I'm waiting to see, like in a game like Fulham the other day, I want to see him change it when he's seeing that they're getting in behind. Drop the fullbacks 10 yards. He doesn't. The only time it changes is when you play City. And the thing is, when you change it versus City, City almost dictate that you have to change it because they have 60% of the ball. So when a team has a lot of the ball, your fullbacks can't go and invert into midfield because you don't have the ball. In the games where we have more of the ball, you can. But listen, I do need to get my last guest on. Listen, really appreciate that. Great football chat. Thank you very much. Listen, I'll see you again soon, Omar.
Absolutely.
Take care, buddy. See you soon.
Take care.
Bye-bye. And Double S is going to be the last guest on the show tonight. Double S 16. He always wants to debate me on something. Here he is. How you doing, man? You all right? You're on mute, by the way.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm good. What is it that we can discuss today for you?
Why is all the focus on Ange? Because
why is all the focus on Ange?
Yeah, why is all the focus on Ange? Because the way I see it is, there's a lot of players. Last time I said that the players were dross, you didn't like that, but a lot of the players are mid and very average. Do you get what I'm saying? They're not as good as a lot of Tottenham fans make out. The style of play that Ange wants your team to play, a lot of players are inept. They cannot play that way. And you're going to probably say, well, it's on Ange to then change it. But he's the manager. He's come in with new ideas to freshen things up. Before that, like I said, you had, dinosaur football with Jose and, so on and so forth. Yeah. So now you've got a different style of play. It's going to take time. It's not going to take 18 months. Sure. Yes, I know that there's other managers that have come in and done it quicker, but Ange is not at that level. He's like, respectfully, he's been at Celtic and other teams. He's never been at a level like Tottenham. So
you're answering my question. You've answered it. You've answered your own question for me. What you've just done there is brilliant. That's somebody who's having a debate. That is the dream. You've literally just answered it for me.
How?
Ange is not at that level. You've just answered it for me.
No. I said no. You're changing my words. I said he's never been at that level. Like Tottenham is a step up.
You literally just said Ange is not at that level. No disrespect, but he's come from places like Celtic.
No. Okay, let me explain to you what I meant. What I meant is that he's not come with a CV, like a strong enough CV for people to think, okay, he's gonna walk into Tottenham and he's gonna make wonders happen straight away. I know there's some people that are naive that think that, but he's come from Celtic. From Celtic to Tottenham, it's a huge step up.
It is.
So he needs a lot of time.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. When you go on any journey, right? And when people keep saying time, I keep hearing these magic buzzwords. This is what I love about calls like this. These buzzwords like time.
Yeah.
How much time and at what point do we expect to see any improvements?
I think about a good 3 to 5 years. I'd say that you need to give
Double S. You're not gonna get 3 to 5 years if things don't improve in 3 years. You're not gonna get it.
You're 3 points off fourth though.
I didn't say we weren't. Hang on, pick your argument and stick with it. Is this about where Tottenham are in? Hang on. Is this about where Tottenham are in the table, or is this about how Ange is doing as a manager?
They both intertwine.
Okay, they both intertwine. So let's look at this then. So I can say, okay, we're 3 points off fourth. We're 2 points off 13th.
Yeah, but that's because the league is so tight right now.
So that's
no,
why...
don't get me wrong. I know, but
hang on. You've got to let me retort, right? I've said we're 2 points off 13th, right? You said that's because the league's so tight right now. Isn't that the reason why we're 3 points off 4th? Because the league's so tight right now.
But are you going to really finish 13th though?
I never said we were going to.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That's unrealistic. Like, there's a good chance you can finish 4th though.
So let me ask you then, right? So the results aren't getting better.
Yeah.
The points per game hasn't improved in the last year, right? We've got less points than we've got last year. Our form is very hit and miss. So as a fan, when you're convincing me as a fan that I need to be patient, I need to sit here and wait, at what stage am I meant to say, yeah, there's visible improvements? Because it's not 3 years. I'm sorry, it's not 3 years. That's a nonsense statement.
But
so
Savva, you're not understanding though. You can't, like, you even said yourself, yeah. Last season, yeah, the start of the season was a fluke in a way. Yep. The way you lot started was like a rocket. It was, and a lot of fans were talking.
Can I just ask? Sorry, why am I not understanding? When you start the sentence with Savva, you're not understanding. Of course, I understand. I told you this, so yes, I do understand.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're muddling up the two things. You're talking about you've got less points than last season, but last season was a fluke. So you can't really use that argument because last season, you started off like a rocket. A lot of fans were talking about title charge, and we all know how that ended. But what I'm saying is this season, it started off progressively much slower than last season, and you might see that you might finish faster and better and stronger than you did last season.
But the word might. At the moment, there's no evidence of that. The word might is great.
City 4-0.
Double S, calm yourself down, right? There's no evidence of that. And again, this is when I love talking to football fans like you. We beat Man City 4-0. The 2 games either side of Man City, we've not managed to win one of them. So when fans like you get all excited about one win, I'm gonna say I'll see your one win and I'll raise you 5 games, not 1. Do you think who's beating Man City at the moment? Can I ask you who's beating Man City at the moment?
You mean who's not beating them?
Thank you. You've answered my question again. You're good at this. You're very good at debating. You win the debates for me. That's what I like about you.
But Savva, you're that's what I'm saying. There's teams like Liverpool that might beat City, but then you lot have to slap City 4-0.
So
I've not seen City been dismantled the way you lot dismantled them, honestly.
Okay, we dismantled them, and then what did we do the 2 games afterwards?
But that's where the players have to come into question.
Okay, so right, so now we're getting to the crux of it. Double S, you see what you're doing is what all these Spurs fans are doing that can't ever critique Ange. When we win a game, oh my God, trust the process. Ange is brilliant. Ange ball, brilliant, blah, 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 blah. Right? Right, people in the chat saying I'm getting trolled. Listen, we're just having a football chat, right? Savva needs to read the chat. He's getting trolled. How am I getting trolled? Right? At the end of the day, Double S, you're doing what everyone does. When we win, Ange is brilliant. Give him time. When we don't win, but look at the players. The same players you said just slapped up Man City. So which one is it?
To be honest with you, it's a bit of both. But the reason why I'm saying that is because the fact that the players can turn up against Manchester City and perform the way they did. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'll be honest with you. I saw a quote, I think it was 2 days ago, about Ange talking about entertainment rather than winning or something along those lines. And that did prick my ears up. It did make me start questioning Ange a bit, because the fact that he's willing to sacrifice winning over entertainment, then there is serious questions to be asked about Ange. I'm not going to lie to you.
There's massive questions to be asked about this manager, right?
Yeah.
The form, the statements that he comes out with. The problem is, again, it's one of those things where when I put my argument forward, I come with facts and evidence. Lots of people just come with hopes and feelings. That's great, right? That's great. But let's use your argument, for example. Your argument is, to use your term, Spurs slapped City, right? But the fact that the 4 games, 2 either side of that, were awful tells you that the City game was a fluke. Surely, rather than that being we're a great team.
But games like yesterday, Son's 1-on-1 like within the first 5 minutes and he misses.
So but again, double S, look, if we're going to have a mature football conversation, right? Every football club could say that every weekend. So-and-so, if he had scored that goal, at the end of the day, let's look at the 90 minutes. Spurs were shambolic yesterday. Spurs were dreadful.
Agreed.
Right? We were dreadful. And again, tactically, Ange Postecoglou was outsmarted.
But you've got both your centre-backs out. That's number one also.
Double S, hang on. Right? Hang on. I'm going to tie you up in your own debate here. Right? Who played centre-back yesterday?
Dragishin.
Who?
Dragishin, that guy.
And who else?
Ben Davies.
When we slapped City, who played centre-back?
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Right, but so this is the thing, right? When I hear excuses, I can dismantle the excuses because they are just that. Right? When I hear injuries, yeah, this is the same group of players that played against Man City. The only one that wasn't available was Dominic Solanke. But that's the excuse for not beating Fulham at home, but we could slap City away. And this is the thing. Context is really, really important. Do you know why all these people that just love Ange that can't have a debate? Because they know they've got nothing. Theirs is purely on emotion, right? Because when you break down the facts, when you look at it, the tactics that this man adopts, you said it needs time. I've never seen, I'll wait for you to tell me and everyone in the chat, I've never seen a manager adopt 2 inverted fullbacks as high up as this guy, leave his defences open every game and be successful. I'll wait to hear from you who's done it.
No, I agree with you, but I'm not saying Ange needs time off of emotion. I'm just looking at it from the outside looking in, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, you gave multiple managers chances, and they've not succeeded. Ange now, who's kind of unknown, let's call him unknown, has come in. He's got a different philosophy. He's had to buy some new players, still got some of the old players, and it needs time. Because right now, I'm telling you, if you were to get rid of Ange, and yeah, I understand you're going to say it's not your job, it's someone else's job to find the manager, etc. But if Ange was to go now, yeah, it's the same thing with Man United. Man United think that because Ten Hag is gone, that they're all of a sudden going to be shooting up the league or going to be seeing consistency. Or they're not. They just about got past Bodo Glimt the other day. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Again, hang on. Can I just give you one bit of advice, please, without being rude? I just think you're really knee-jerk. I think you're really knee-jerk when you talk about football. Like, it's because, first of all, Bodo Glimt was Ruben Amorim's first home game after being the manager of the club for a week.
Manager bounce. Where's the manager bounce?
Hang on, he's not lost a game yet. They're in their manager bounce, right? They're in their manager bounce, right? But Ruben Amorim, I guarantee in 18 months, Man United will look unrecognisable from what he picked up. Because
will they win anything?
Pardon?
Will they win anything?
In 18 months?
Yeah, because Ten Hag did.
Yeah, okay. But again, you're doing this thing, Double S. You're very short-sighted when you talk about football.
I'm not.
Right? You Double S, you are. You bring up a point and then you change it very quickly when your point is getting ripped apart by me.
No, because you're not actually listening to my initial point.
Let me finish, right?
Go on.
Ange has been here 18 months and Spurs, nothing's really changed in the 18 months he's been here. We score a lot of goals, but defensively, we look really poor. We're wide open. Our form is non-existent. Like we win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, right? Ruben Amorim, in 18 months at Man United, you watch where they are in 18 months. Now, will it be winning titles? Well, I don't think it will because they are way off it, right?
So where
would
will
you watch? They will be in a position where they are building window upon window, implementing his philosophy, and he'll be getting the players he wants, and they will look like a very good team and a good unit, right? I watch Spurs from now to when he first joined. I don't see what's different. Points per game. Again, what's different stylistically, people love it, is that he flies forward and scores loads of goals. That's great. You're going to score loads of goals if you fly forward and don't worry about coming the other way. That's natural. You're going to. The top managers will find balance.
So let me ask you, do you think that Ange's system, if he had two better fullbacks, it would be better? Because we both know that both your fullbacks are they're just reckless. They just don't know how to defend. They're just all over the gaff.
Double S. Okay, so again, do you know, I love debating you. You make my points for me. Right. Porro and Udogie are not fullbacks, right? They are not inverted midfielders either. This guy plays them there every week. And then we have people going, if we had better fullbacks. If you had better fullbacks, he'd still invert both of them into midfield and we'd still be wide open. His tactics have allowed 96 shots at goal against us in the last 5 games. 96.
Okay. I mean, right? I see where you're coming from, and I do it. Listen, I'm not completely saying Ange is the guy. I'm not saying Ange will take you lot to the promised land. All I'm trying to say is that if Ange goes, a lot of people think things are going to get better. Like I said with Man United, you don't want to hear that, but we'll see with Man United in 18 months. Ten Hag, he won trophies for Man United. Ange obviously hasn't won anything so far, but what I'm trying to say is that right now, there's not many good managers out there. Especially a lot of
I disagree with that. I disagree with that completely.
Who's out there? Who's out there that's going to come?
Again, we're doing this short-sightedness. I heard this when Man U was sacking Ten Hag. Man U fans going, who are you going to get? Funnily enough, when you put your money where your mouth is, you get what you want.
But Levy won't do that, though. Levy won't do that. I'm sorry.
And again, this is where we need to learn our history, right? This is where we need to learn our history. Daniel Levy has done that.
With who?
Right? What do you mean? He went out and got Jose Mourinho.
I'm talking about now. No. I'm talking about now. If he was to sack Ange now, he's gonna have to buy out a manager out of his contract.
Sure, but we've seen this before. Again, it's people need to know the history of what Levy does. When things start going bad at Spurs, Levy will always do the same traits. The same traits will always come out in Levy. He will realize, I've got a very broken fan base again. I need to pacify them. What do I do? Right. I'll spend a bit of money. I'll go and get a manager. I'll pay them well. Right. The fans will shut up for a year. Eat, sleep, and repeat.
But that's at the end of the season, Savva.
No.
Savva, you're not... Who? Okay, please, just tell me.
I love it when people like you that don't support Spurs try and
tell me then. Tell me who has Levy bought out of their contract? Please tell me. Just tell me.
It's not necessarily about buying them out of their contract. He will go and get and pay what he needs to, because you know why? Buying a manager is cheaper than buying top players. He's done it before.
Who though? But I just want to know, who has he done that with though? Because if he's not done that before, then history says he won't do it again.
But I'm trying to explain to you and you're not listening, right? He went and paid Antonio Conte about £15 million a year to manage Tottenham, right?
No, but
hang on. He paid Jose Mourinho an extortionate amount of money to come and manage Tottenham, right?
Different.
Managers, when fans like you say, who are you going to get? Clubs go and get managers. Managers
are... I'm sorry. It's very different.
Why?
It's very different, because you cannot be comparing the situation where, let's be honest with ourselves. Yeah, when Jose and Conte came in, it was toxic amongst the Tottenham fan base, right?
And it's toxic now.
No, I'm not saying it's not toxic now. However, I'm not saying that there's not a lot of people that want Ange out, but there are a lot of people that I see still backing Ange for whatever reason, for whatever their reasons are. However, when it was Jose, go on.
No, but see, this is where you don't know Spurs. This is what I love. I keep getting these fans on that don't know Spurs.
Why don't I know Spurs?
I'm trying to tell you. You keep coming on saying these things that are just infactually correct. When Jose was manager, there were a lot of fans that still wanted Jose, and there were a lot of fans that wanted him out. The same with Antonio Conte. Many fans loved him and wanted him to stay. Many fans wanted him gone. It will be the same when Ange goes.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, go on.
Because honestly, I'm not saying that there was not any fans that wanted Jose there or Conte there, but please, let's be honest now, yeah? Because of the style of football and the way you lot were playing, in my opinion, from what I saw, like I said, I don't see every Spurs fan, but from what I saw, there were more Jose outers and Conte outers than there are Ange outers because of just solely alone the style of play. Do you know what? Do you know what, Double S? A lot of fans don't like this style of play. It's not good. Yeah.
It's not. Listen, there are people that will pretend we play free-flowing attacking football. I watch a team that is so wide open, it's not good to watch. Right? There are a lot of people. If I ask everyone in the chat, right? I'll ask everyone in the chat right now. Let's just get a taste. Some will agree, some will disagree. It's the way it is. Does anyone actually think Spurs are a really good football team to watch? I'll just ask that in the chat, right? At the end of the day, you don't know Levy. This is the thing. You don't know Daniel Levy like us Spurs fans know him. Levy always pulls a rabbit out the hat to pacify the fan base. It's let me talk, right? This is what he does. He messed up, right? He sacked Poch, right? He sacked Poch, and I think he had to at the time, blah, blah, blah. He knew the fans were going to be pissed off. What does he do? I'll bring in Jose Mourinho, one of the most successful managers ever, and I'll pay him a shed load of money, right? Antonio Conte came in the same fashion. He made a mistake bringing in Nuno, right? He made a mistake bringing in Nuno, sacked him. What do? All right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring in Antonio Conte, a winner, right? This is what Levy does. Yeah, Levy is not, as much as I don't like him, he is a very smart human being.
Okay, can I ask you a question now? Okay, can I ask you a question now? You see when you bought in Nuno, right?
Yeah.
Did he get, correct me if I'm wrong, was he bought out of his contract, or was this at the end of the season when it was when he was at the end of the season, for example?
I think we bought him out. We must have, because we took him in the summer from Wolves, right?
Right. Okay. He was in his contract, but it was, at least the season was finished, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Somebody in the chat will back.
So that is what I'm trying to say. I think that's the point you're missing, mate. I'm saying right now we are 13, 14 games in the Premier League. Similar with other leagues. Right. If Ange was to go now, yes, I'm not saying Levy won't try and do anything at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it'd probably be a manager of Nuno's caliber that comes in at this stage. There's no one of good caliber that is going to come out of their contract because they're probably either in a good team, either got a chance of winning, or they're loyal to their club, or for whatever reason, right? They're going to leave. The only reason why Man United got Amrin, if that's what you're about to say, yeah, is because, let's be honest, Man United are the biggest club in England. It pains me to say it, but they are.
Right. So Tottenham can't find a better manager that's in contract than Postecoglou. Is that what you're saying?
No. See, no, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, it's a huge risk. If, for example, you were to get another manager, there is a chance he could be better than Ange, but there's also a chance he could be much worse than Ange. But you're 3 points off fourth, mate. But you're not in a crisis.
For you, listen. When you're saying we're not in a crisis, I don't think anyone's used the word crisis. I'm just saying in the last year and a half, nothing's factually got better under this manager than when he joined, right? People can argue style of play, but points-wise, results-wise, nothing's really changed where we are in the league. Nothing has really changed since this guy came in. At the end of the day, if you want to manage, would you take him at your club, Ange?
But why would I take him when I'm challenging for the league?
Who do you support?
Arsenal.
Right. Well, challenging for the league is subjective, but if you're 9 points off the top,
but you know what I mean, innit?
Why wouldn't you have him at Arsenal if he's so good?
come on, mate. You're just that's.
No,
that's
I'm
crazy.
asking a question.
Because we've Ange is not better than Arteta. As simple as that, basically. He's not better than Arteta. Like, it's simple.
Let's put it straight there. So Ange is not better than Arteta, but you're telling me if we give this guy 3 to 5 years, we're going to see success.
Listen, mate, I'll be honest with you. When Arteta came to Arsenal, I didn't want him. I wanted him out. And I'm not even now, the jury's still out with him. If he doesn't win something major this season, he has to go. There's no two ways. But I'm saying that he took us from 8th to 8th. When he came in, we were about 5th or whatever, yeah? He took us to 8th, then 8th again, then 5th, then second.
Yeah, I know
and
your
then
history.
Second, yeah?
I know your history.
So what I'm saying is, the way you're talking about in 18 months, you've not progressed. Well, neither did we. And look where we are now. Obviously, yes, we haven't won anything. I know that's what you're about to say. But we're
no.
better.
That wasn't what I was about to say. You tie yourself up in knots. You are brilliant. You tie yourself up in knots. Listen to the words that just came out your mouth, right? The jury is still out on Arteta. You said that, not me, right?
100%.
Right. The jury is still out. But you're sitting here trying to convince me that a manager that you don't think is as good as Arteta, I should be patient with for 5 years. But you still, after 5 years, don't think your manager's good enough.
No, but Savva, you're muddling up the argument. I'm saying
I'm not muddling up the argument.
Arteta has been given close to £1 billion. Arteta has been given 5 to 6 years. We've been fed lies, processes, blah, blah, blah. I've been waiting all this time for us to win. We've bottled 2 leagues. So there's context to it, to why I'm saying he's on his last legs.
How much money has Ange had in 18 months?
I don't know, close to about 200 million or something?
No, about 400 million, right? So again, using context, as I said, know your debate that you're debating. If he's had nearly 400 million pounds in 18 months, right? What are we saying? Another 400 million in another 18 months?
But who's buying these players, Savva? Because listen, Solanke.
Notice how you just change from one argument to the next.
But it's true though. You have to, you see with Arsenal, right? I'm saying what I've said, right? But I have to give them credit where credit's due. Of course, we have bought a lot of dross in the last 5 years as well. However, we've bought a lot of good players. Ben White, Gabriel, the centre back, Calafiori's coming, Timber. I don't have to name them all, yeah? Honestly, let's be honest now. This is not even me trying to be funny. Name me who Spurs have signed in Ange's tenure that's been a good signing, apart from Van de Ven.
But the problem with that is I think he's had some very good signings, and most of them are being played out of position. This is the problem. His tactic, James Maddison, Mickey Van de Ven, players like this, even Solanke, they're not being used how they were at their old clubs, and they don't look great. Do I think Spurs should be winning a title? And I'm going to have to let you go in a minute because I've got one more person who's come on. Do I think Spurs are great and should be challenging for a title? No, I don't. Right? Do I think, though, that Spurs are tactically awful to watch? Yes, I do. In 18 months, this guy tactically looks clueless. He tells us, I don't want to be pragmatic. I have zero interest in being pragmatic. I don't want a manager. That's a loser's mentality.
Agreed.
Turning around and saying at no point will I be pragmatic, even though you have to be at times to get over the line. They're worrying traits. But do you know what? I'll leave it there. This is just my opinion on Ange. Yeah. I know it winds up so many Spurs fans, which is crazy. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. All right?
Yeah. And mate, just before I go, I just want to say, don't think that I'm trying to say Ange has to stay. Ange is the guy. Ange will make it happen. I'm not saying that. All I'm simply saying is, for me, from what I've seen, you're 3 points off 4th. It's not a crisis. I understand there's tactically problems going on, and he needs to change. He must. If he doesn't, then he's probably going to hang himself, right? But all I'm saying is that if Ange was to go now, right, especially now or in mid-season, there is a very good chance that Tottenham can regress. That's what I'm saying. And if you or other Spurs fans are prepared for that, then that's fine. But if you want Tottenham to move forward, then it's a very big risk for me to sack Ange now. That's what I'm saying.
Personally, I'm really happy with taking the risk because this guy, as I said, tactically, he is second rate. You can tell he's managed in poor leagues. And I think any Spurs fans that can't see how mediocre his tactics are, it worries me. Listen, I've got to let you go. I've got one more person to get on, and then I'm going to end the show. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
and I hope you get Ange after Arteta. See you later, mate.
Yeah, cool, mate.
All right. Right, last person, because I really do need to go and have some dinner. The real King TW. I don't think you've been on before.
No.
Welcome.
Big up, Savva. Great to have you. I'll see you back on this base. Obviously a big fan. So yeah, but Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, like you guys are just up and down at the minute. Like one win, it seems to be one win, and then like a draw or a loss, and it's like it's not consistent. It's not consistent enough, and it's listen. I thought Ange did decent in his first season, but in this second season, it looks like he's getting found out a little bit. Let's just say he's getting found out. And the thing is that I think the biggest problem with Tottenham is that obviously you guys have always had a style of play, but I think the big thing with me with Tottenham is that I think the biggest problem is the direction that your club has been going in over recent times. Obviously, Daniel Levy has spent money. He spent money and he's upgraded like the stadium. He's done like good things with the stadium and all of that. But like obviously, you guys had Pochettino who played some very good football, and then you guys went and got obviously Jose and Conte, and obviously Levy sacked Mourinho when he got into the final of the League Cup, and and obviously now after Conte, you've got Ange who plays attacking football. So I think the thing is that with Tottenham as a whole club, they've never stuck to a direction. Like, do we get like a pragmatic, or do we get an attacking? You know what I mean?
I listen. I completely agree with you on that point. There is no doubt Spurs don't stick to a plan. The problem is, I don't think this plan is sustainable.
No.
For me, I think sometimes we confuse the word attacking with gung-ho.
Yeah.
I think when you actually watch Spurs quite a lot, our attacking play is very much just everyone bombing forward. And that's great. But then when we lose the ball, we look so bad at the back and through midfield. So I don't disagree with you. My question mark is this the guy that I think this is who I want to be at my club for 5, 6, 7 years long term? And look, again, I don't know why it winds so many people up. I don't rate him. That's just me. Some people love him. Some people absolutely love it. For me, I like a bit more on the tactical side. I want a manager that can move things. I want a manager that can adapt. I want a manager that doesn't get outplayed at home by Ipswich and Fulham. Look, and like Chris said, tongue in cheek, but we are showing consistency. We've been crap in 4 of our last 5 games, and this is the problem. So, like when the last caller rings in and says, "Oh, but you slapped Man City," fine, but it doesn't really mean anything if the 2 games before that we were shit and the 2 games after it we were shit. It doesn't really mean anything. Now, I'm not saying beating Man City doesn't mean anything as a one-off game. It does. Of course it does. But when you now look at that with the 2 games either side of it, it takes everything away from whoever's just joined. You will need to put your camera on. You will need your camera on because I don't know you. So you will need your camera on. So for me, look, I agree with you. I do agree with you on that we do keep changing direction. But Jose and Conte were never here for the long term. We knew that.
No. Yeah.
Conte signed an 18-month contract. So look, yeah, I agree with you on most of that. I do.
Yeah, like obviously, and obviously, I know that you've showed a lot of stats about. I think Tottenham have only won like 4. Is it like 4 away games or something? 4 away games or something like that. Like
4 away games in 12 months. Yeah, it's crap.
4 away games, and they've conceded a lot of goals. And obviously, like I said, it's like 1 week they win, and then 1 week like they draw or lose, they like drop points. It's like there has to be, yes, you can trust. Yes, people say, "Oh, trust the process, trust the process." No, you should trust progression. That's what you should be looking at. You should be looking at progression instead of a process, because people will say, "Oh, look what Arteta done in 5 years. Look what Arteta." But Arteta's won 0 trophies. Arteta hasn't won anything, and the average that a manager gets is 18 months to prove himself. And if the manager can't prove himself in 18 months or even less, then he is not good enough for the job. And and this is what it is. And there's no direction. There's no direction when you win in one game and then the next game you go and draw and lose. There's no consistency. There's no, I can completely understand why you were not happy with that, Ange, because like obviously you guys want to play good football, but also like in certain games, when you have injuries or when you don't have certain players that you don't want, or certain players that that don't fit the way that you want to play, sometimes you have to adapt in certain games against certain teams to get results. At the end of the day, football is a results business, and like this is the thing. So I don't trust that. And people say, who can you get better? Like, do you think Daniel Levy is going to pay a manager out of his contract? Like who does that in football nowadays? When owners pay managers out. We've seen it so many times. Even if you rate the managers or not, yeah. Like for example, when Chelsea wanted Graham Potter, they paid the money to get Graham Potter out of Brighton.
Yeah.
When Chelsea wanted Enzo Maresca, they paid the money to get Enzo Maresca from Leicester. Yeah. When Manchester United, my club, wanted Ruben Amorim, we paid Sporting the money to get Ruben Amorim. So you can buy managers out of contract, and that should be the ambition. If Ange Postecoglou is not good enough, you should look at it and say who can progress the club forward, because obviously people will say that Tottenham is a top 4 club. Tottenham is not like a title challenging or a Premier League challenging, like, but it's like you guys should want to have the ambition of winning trophies. Doesn't mean that you will, but you guys should have the ambition of wanting to win the major honours and wanting to see your club do well and go in the right direction. So,
I completely agree with you. Unfortunately, we've been so starved of success that everyone always says things like, "Well, who are you going to get that's better?" There's many managers out there better than Ange Postecoglou. But listen, bro, I'm going to have to let you go. I have got one last person that wants to debate me, I think, on whether Spurs play good football or not. But listen, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure we'll speak again, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Big up, Savva. Big up. Right. Thanks for having me on. Big up.
Always, mate. Always. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it.
Big up.
See you later. All right, HJ, you wanted to come on. HJ, can I just ask, is it you that just emailed me? Oh, HJ, sorry, rejoin. Sorry, I don't know what's happened there. HJ, rejoin. I didn't mean to disconnect you there. Yeah, apologies. HJ, if you're there, I will wait. Please come back on. Very, very sorry. I meant to get rid of the guy before and actually got rid of both of you at the same time. So please do come back on. I'm pretty sure you want to debate me on the style of play. Me saying I don't think it's that good a football. So, by the way, I still need a Roma goal for anyone that cares. I need a Roma goal at home to Atalanta. HJ, you there? Are you there? HJ, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to boot you off. Are you there? Big up, Will. It's the whole point of a debate show is you get some good chats. Listen, I always very, very, very appreciative of the people who come on, my guests, because without them, the show doesn't work. Hang on, what's going on here? Right, HJ is going to come back on in a minute, and then what I will do is send you over to Stel. I'm not doing it on Wednesday. I'm not on Big Up. On Wednesday, I'm here. On Wednesday, I'm on YouTube. So that will be at about 7:15, probably about 7 p.m. HJ, I need you to come on quickly. I can't just sit around, mate. You just got to press the same button that you pressed before if you want to come on. Because otherwise, I really want to go and eat some food. I'm not going to lie to you. Come on. Are you there? Right. Doesn't look like HJ is coming back on. I'll have to have a conversation with him next week. I think he wanted to talk to me about the comments I made about Spurs not being good to watch. I mean, I do think we're good in patches. I just don't think that we're amazing. I think everyone talks about like we're just this really good front-footed football team, and I don't think that's particularly the case. Listen, I'm going to go. HJ, if you're there, email me. I'll get you on next week, and we'll have the chat next week. Take care, everyone. I'm going to send you over to Stel's channel now for their Monday night show. When you get over there, please type in Savva Raid, just so you know, just like this. Savva Raid. And we'll take it from there. Everyone, take care. Thanks for everyone who came on. Some really good conversations tonight. See you later. And as always, come on, you Spurs.